Happy Friday! I am back in my factory toy box today for a new episode of Toy Box Tutorials. We are getting close to the end of this toy box. I have a few more tutorials to go, and then I'll put the finishing touches on it and be done. So we should finish with this toy box by the end of the year. But for today, I want to deal with a little issue on this island that I introduced when I added the Gantry Claw puzzle here back in episode 125. In my original design, as you may recall, the only thing on this island was going to be the nowhere portal at the top. All of this over here did not exist, nor did this locked gate. And I had added this building piece here and this pipe climb to allow the player to get up to the portal. And now that we have a puzzle on this island that the player needs to solve, I don't want them to be able to go up to that portal right away. I want them to solve the puzzle first. And so I'm going to change this island a little bit by removing this building piece and this pipe climb. And what I want to put in here instead is the city elevator from Building Sets Group 2. And we'll put this right here. And this is my topic for the lesson today. This elevator is part of Building Sets Group 2, which you can purchase in the toy store. It's the city building set. And if you're not sure where to find it in the toy store, go back and watch episode 102. I don't think I have ever seen a tutorial on this toy, and so I'm going to take the opportunity to do one because there's more to this toy than you might think. And just so we can play around with it, let me drop a few other things. I'm going to put down a sound effect toy. I already have one in here, but it's way over there, so this will speed things up. And I'm going to drop down 4 buttons. Alright, so when you place this toy, it just automatically starts sending the elevator up and down that track. And it allows you to reach higher places, and you might think that's all this does. But if you select it, you'll notice there's a logic menu. And this toy has some trigger signals. It also has some behaviors. So let's connect a button up to it and see what those behaviors are. And there's 4 of them. There is the ability to turn this off and on, which is kind of self-explanatory. If you turn it off, it'll stop automatically going up and down. If you turn it on, that'll make it go up and down. And then you have move up and move down, which sounds intuitive, but it doesn't quite work the way you might think. So I want to demonstrate that. So we're going to use this first button to turn it off. We'll use this one to turn it on. We'll use the third one here to make it move up. And we'll use the last one to make it move down. Alright, and then this toy has some trigger signals that it will broadcast as well. And again, there are 4 of them. There's off and on, which corresponds to the on-off behaviors. So when it's turned off, it'll broadcast this. When it's turned on, it should broadcast this, but there's a couple of exceptions, and I'll show those to you, where it'll turn itself on automatically and not broadcast this. This one is broadcast when the elevator reaches the top. That one when the elevator reaches the bottom. So when this is turned off, let's connect over to my sound effect toy over here, and we'll just play the buzzer. And when it broadcasts the on signal, we'll come over here and play a sound effect too. And this is going to help us see when this gets turned on, and it'll broadcast that signal, and when it gets turned on and doesn't. Alright, so the first 2 work like you'd expect. So if we turn this off, you'll notice it kind of jumped up there and stopped moving. So there's kind of incremental points along the track where it will stop. It won't stop right where it is. It'll kind of snap to the nearest location. And I think that corresponds with the block. So if we look down, for example, under the basic blocks, or you look at the terrain cube, I think it stops in increments here. Or at least in kind of in the middle of where that block would be. And if it's anywhere in between that, it'll just kind of snap to the nearest location. Why it doesn't stop right in the middle, I don't know, but as you can see, it's not moving. And then if we hit this button, you heard the cash register and you see it starts moving. Alright, so now it's moving up. If we press the move up button, it doesn't go any faster. Alright. And we'll wait for a moment for it to start going down. Now when it starts going down and I press this, it automatically changes direction and moves back up to the top. So the move up behavior will override the behavior that moves it down. So if it's moving downward and you press this, it'll change direction. That is not true for move down. You would expect this would work the same way. And I'll wait for it to move up. But just like the other one, pressing this when it's already moving down doesn't do anything. Now because of how this one worked, for move up, you'd expect that once it starts moving up, this would make it change direction. But it doesn't. So I don't know if that's broken or what, but it would be kind of nice if it were to do that. Alright, so let's turn it off. Now, if we press this to make it move up, it does. But if you watch it for a moment, you'll realize that that also turned it on. There it goes. But it did not broadcast the trigger signal for on, because we didn't hear the cash register. But it did turn it on. And it's now resuming its automated movement. So if you have the elevator in the off position and you use the move up or move down behavior, that will automatically turn this on, and it will not broadcast that trigger signal for on to let other toys know that this has been turned on. So I think that too is a bug. That's important to know. But of course you can come over here and turn this turn this off and it'll turn it off. Alright, so that's how this works, and that's a couple of the quirks that you see with it. So now we can go ahead and delete these. And what I want to do for my toy box is I want this elevator to be off by default. So we're going to come over to our level starter over here and do a new logic connection on Catalyze. And we're going to come over and turn this off. So when the player starts the level, this will not be moving. And we need to make it start moving, and I want to do that when the player gets this gate down and is able to toss their sidekick into the sidekick door. So on this particular sidekick door, we're going to do a new logic connection. When a townsperson is thrown in, we're going to come over to the elevator and turn it on. And so once the player solves this puzzle and they're able to open that door and toss their sidekick into that door, that will start the elevator, which will allow them to get up to the portal and move on to the next island. So that solves my little problem here. And this wall looks a little bare, doesn't it? So maybe we'll put down, let's see what this looks like. Just something to try to hide all that bareness. Yeah, that adds a little something anyway. And we could throw a little ledge out here maybe. With a health capsule or something on it. Whoops, I think it's under Building Sets Group 5. There are the kiln ledges right here. So we could put these out here. And if we wanted to, we could put a health capsule or something up there. But that gives something that's needed there on the side of that. And also helps hide that terrain seam a bit. And I kind of placed the elevator here to kind of hide the terrain seams on those blocks behind. But that's the city elevator. And now that you know that it has logic, maybe you'll want to use it to do some things you didn't know you could do in some of your toy boxes. And that's all for me today. If you found this tutorial helpful, please like and subscribe for more tutorials like this, and leave a comment to let me know. I always enjoy hearing from viewers who are still playing Disney Infinity. I know there are quite a few of you out there. Thank you for watching, and have a great weekend.